Thank you. It's Two, one.
Excellent.
We are live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Snodacast episode 10. I'm your host, Black Chef 56, and we have a small crowd, but not necessarily a bad crowd. I am joined by the one, the only, Gallows.
I can only...
And of course, the one that just decided to turn his camera off, Joe, aka Joker.
I'm trying to fix it.
I know. It's alright, buddy. We're experiencing technical difficulties, but what else is new? It's Joe. Anyways,
pretty much.
So let us go ahead and ask the age-old question. How's everybody's week? We're gonna go ahead and start with Gallows, then we're gonna go to Joe, and then we are gonna go to we're gonna go to me. All right, so Gallows, how was your week?
My week, work. That's all I can say.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Joe, how was your week?
I've been kind of feeling a little rough around on the inside, but I'm surviving, and I'm trying to actually be a little more positive.
Aren't we all? Well, my week has been more or less the same. School, work, all that fun jazz. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into the one thing I'm actually looking forward to talking about. For now showing this week, we have our lovely little graphic done by yours truly. And, of course, we are talking about The Batman, the new 2022 film that has actually come out this weekend, and yours truly has seen it, actually. I don't think anybody else in here has, but I'm going to keep it spoiler-free just because it is the first weekend that it has come out. And this is the first time in a long time I've actually seen a movie before we get on the podcast. So, that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I can't see anybody hating on this movie. I really can't. I don't see that happening. It just doesn't seem plausible, I guess is the best way to put it. But, you know, that's the part that makes this as well.
I've seen a lot of talk about how people don't like the new movie.
Okay, well, those people are a bunch of jackasses. I'm talking about the everyday, the average moviegoer. I would say that, honest to God, I would find it hard to find the average moviegoer not at least liking the movie. Because even if you don't love the movie, I don't see you hating this. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be people that hate this. I'm sure there's people that hate The Godfather. It happens, but like I'm just saying, as a mass of movie fans, I would be shocked to find, if not at least 90% of these people liking this movie at the very least. Do you guys have any thoughts, comments, concerns on The Batman? I know that Joe is going to probably be seeing it tomorrow.
I'm a bit.
I'm probably going to see it on pay.
I'm just going to go camera-less right now.
Well, it won't be on pay-per-view. I know in 45 days it should be on HBO Max.
That's right. I'm probably going to end up watching it on pay week or something like that.
Okay, that's fine.
I've heard some things about it. It's like, I think some people think, I've watched Angry Joe's review, and I'm not taking this whole review at 100% volume, but it's like, what he says, like, some of the Catwoman scenes were kind of a little,
Catwoman was an interesting character. Again, without giving away any spoilers, she was played well. She did kind of seem insignificant to the story, yes. To at least the main story. She is tied into one element, but then when that element gets snipped, she does kind of seem just to be there. So yeah, I can kind of understand that. But other than that, she's fine. I loved her her character. She got her time to shine, and then it was time to move on. The only character I would say that didn't really get a lot of time to shine was Alfred. So I would love to see more Andy Serkis, and more of Andy Serkis as Alfred.
There was like only 5 minutes of him like on screen.
It was more than 5 minutes. It was like a grand total of maybe 10. Then again, I have a hard time keeping track of time during movies. And now, while granted, this is a damn near 3-hour run time. I mean, this is a 2-hour 55-minute movie with about 3 minutes worth of credits.
I'm a little iffy about seeing it because of that, because I'm like,
you don't feel it until. And honestly, I had a large soda that was practically finished by about 5 minutes into the movie. That's including commercials and trailers and everything. No, I didn't. I'm just built different. I even finished an entire large bucket of popcorn with extra butter and salt. It's just built different, bro.
That sounds fucking so fucking weird.
Oh yeah, but now granted, when I got home, yeah, no, I was in there for a few minutes. But
in May, somebody remind me to go to a Buffalo Wild Wings so I could try their exclusive Mountain Dew flavor Legend.
I'll probably go get it. I don't know. But yeah, like you don't really feel the runtime necessarily. The biggest thing is I didn't feel it until I got out of the theater. That's my thing. That's where your bladder was like, hey, let's have a party, okay? No, not necessarily. I didn't feel that until I got home. It was more like I was like, oh my god, it's this time already. It was damn near 7 o'clock by the time I got out of there, and that movie, like the trailers started at 3:30. So yeah, I was in there for a good 3.5 hours, almost. You also got to remember that it takes them like 15-20 minutes to get trailers out of the way. So realistically, the movie didn't start until about 3:50, and then yeah, I was in there for a good couple hours. There isn't a post-credit scene per se. It more or less like kind of, it's hard to explain. But yeah, I mean there is. It just flashes the screen saying goodbye with the Riddler's text and the question mark, and it also flashes a website that you can go to if you want to interact with it. You can
counting down to something apparently.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's a way for it's kind of like I don't know if you guys remember 9, the movie 9 with like the ragdolls and everything. They had they had a viral marketing campaign. That's kind of what this is, and I feel like this is going to be a way to do that with Batman. Also, thank you, Jared, for watching, and I do agree, Alfred is iconic, and that is a shame that he's barely in this movie. However, I feel like we are going to see more of him in the sequel, just because the way that they show this relationship, again, I don't think this is spoiling anything, you kind of get that from the trailers. Their relationship is kind of strained. So, and I feel like they do ultimately kind of mend it back together before the movie's over. Now that being said, there is a character that pops up towards the end of this movie. Again, no spoilers. And it's really one you got to squint at, but you also got to pay attention to it. It's a very iconic Batman character for sure, but I don't see this character showing up in the sequel. I see this is going to be more of a Thanos situation for maybe a trilogy where he shows up in the last movie, but he's been teased and showed. Like, honest to God, I heard someone talk about a possible Arkham Asylum live action kind of way. I'm like, that would be interesting.
Oh man, I would love to see that.
I would love to see a live action Arkham Asylum. Yeah, like that was one of the best Batman games. Like obviously Arkham City beat it. Arkham City beat it beyond. Origins was Arkham Knight was okay.
Or shit got it a little interesting, although the Batmobile was way overused in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Arkham Knight, I agree. The Batmobile, once I finally got past it, it took me 2 or 3 tries to get past the Batmobile. I'm like, okay, it's cool that I get to use the Bat Tank. I want to stop using the Bat Tank.
And just start beating the shit out of everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. But no, I definitely. My biggest thing is there is this character that is teased. They do kind of show. They gave the Riddler a riddle, which is the less of them you have, the more valuable one becomes. And obviously the answer is a friend. They kind of laugh together. So that is, it's a good tease. Now I know that Matt Reeves has said that for a sequel he wants to tackle a more realistic Mr. Freeze. I would love that. I would love a grounded Mr. Freeze. We're not getting Arnold. I honestly think, here's the thing, if Patrick Stewart wasn't too old, I would say he would be a good Mr. Freeze, but I still think Bryan Cranston would be a good Mr. Freeze. Giancarlo Esposito would be a really good one.
And Ice the one that knocks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that was really bad.
Mr. Freeze was what, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Was Arnold Schwarzenegger on live action? Yes.
Batman. And
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell.
I feel like we're talking about the good, like bringing Mr. Freeze into it.
Mhm.
I feel like they should go with how they did the animation movie for it, Sub-Zero.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That actually, what's funny is the Arkham, or not the Arkham show. Sorry, the original Batman animated series is what changed Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze essentially was a bank robber, and he just had a freeze gun. But what they, and of course he had blue skin. I forget the exact reason why, but the show it was one of the few times that it influenced the comics. There was only one other time that it did that, and that was with the creation of Harley Quinn. But that being said,
changed.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Backstory.
saying. Freeze's backstory was changed in the show, and it affected the comics from then on. Now, I do think that Patrick Stewart would still be a good choice if we were doing Dark Knight Returns and Mr. Freeze was in there. That would, like a Dark Knight Returns kind of thing. Like, honestly, if Ben Affleck was still doing if he was still doing Batman, like, I feel like his Mr. Freeze, definitely Patrick Stewart would have been a good choice. Yeah, like an old man Mr. Freeze. But if we're going for in his 40s, maybe in his 50s, pushing it 60s, definitely Bryan Cranston, Giancarlo Esposito. Honestly, I would love what's his name? I'm trying to think. I honestly think that there's quite a few actors that I feel like could pull it off. Michael Fassbender would be a really good choice for Mr. Freeze. I feel like he could pull
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. But we'll talk about this more whenever we get into that particular topic. Right now, we are going to talk about a very exciting news, and we're going to go into our first topic for the night. Disney Plus has announced in the US we are going to be getting the Netflix Marvel shows on there with a parental guiding rating. So you can change what you want your kids to see if they have their own Disney Plus account. And I'm actually kind of pumped for this. I thought we were going to be getting it all through Hulu, but apparently in the US we are going to get these Netflix shows March 16th. And they have also said due to this deal, they have to make season 4 of Daredevil. And that exciting. They're making a season. There are 3 seasons.
Like rubbing his hands together.
Yeah, like, dude, honest to God, this is fantastic. I mean, like, that basically means that either it's going to be its own universe, which is essentially kind of what it became, or
It's connected to the MCU.
yeah, I think it will be connected to the multiverse. I don't know. I think if they're going to continue it with the season 4, they would either have to reboot the whole show and they're just going to leave that as like a legacy, and then it's going to be like, oh yeah, this takes place in the MCU, but this stuff takes place in its own universe. That's fine. I don't mind doing that, twisting it a little bit, but I definitely feel like season 4 of Daredevil would be fantastic. Just pick it up where it left off, change a few things here and there. That would be fine. I'm okay with that. Just because season Bullseye? 3, yeah, I would love to get a full season with Bullseye. I mean, yeah, we technically got that with season 3, but he was still under Kingpin's control, and he wasn't fully Bullseye yet. I would love to see what they could do with a Bullseye costume. I would love to see what they could do with that. And
Oh fuck yeah!
They end up bringing back the Daredevil Bullseye costume.
I don't know
from the
about
movie,
the Colin Farrell one. That's not exactly ideal, though. Granted, it wasn't a bad design.
There was Bullseye. Get the fuck out of here.
Colin Farrell was Bullseye with Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
Oh, well,
Hey, don't get me
Well, I
wrong,
give
he
him
was
my
a good character,
condolences.
but I just couldn't get over the fact that he had a fucking
Yeah, he had a
bullseye
bullseye
carved
on his freaking,
forehead.
like, scarred in his forehead. Like, that was like, huh?
He
Yeah.
proved like this weird.
To be
mini
fair, though,
plastic dart.
those of you who have not seen the director's cut of Ben Affleck's Daredevil, it kind of saves the movie. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on the fact that we are going to be getting these shows March 16th on Disney Plus?
Does mean I could go back to simping for Elektra?
Maybe. Oh, that includes the Punisher show as well. The only one that I'm kind of not looking forward to is the Iron Fist show. I think definitely Disney could save it with some good writing. And Jessica Jones was kind of falling off. I will say Jessica Jones was kind of falling off for me, and so was Luke Cage. I definitely feel like the writing for Luke Cage would be a lot better.
It kind of ended with him being like the new Cottonmouth or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of did.
That is not like who he would fucking be.
No, but he did it out of more like he kind of had to. It was just a power grab, and he's like, I'd rather take it over and try to run it the best way I could than have someone else take it over.
Man, a fucking Avenger Marvel. If you're Disney, if you're fucking listening.
Actually, Luke Cage doesn't usually go with the Avengers. The Defenders are like street level.
Well, I'm just saying, eventually he becomes an Avenger.
Yeah, but everybody's. Here's the thing: the Justice League and the Avengers. Everybody in the comics, if you're a hero, you've been a part of it. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That is very true.
But I do agree, Jared.
Even in the animation shows, they show
Everybody's been a
that
part of it.
everybody is part of the Avengers. They're part of the Justice League, like legit non-name characters.
Well, there's
They're part of
different
the Justice
divisions too. Like there's a West Coast Avengers. I'm sure there's a West Coast Justice League.
Which had Wolverine, Deadpool.
Yeah, West Coast.
Like
but anyways, that being said, I do agree with Jared. Bullseye got screwed on his original movie costume. It wasn't. It's fun. I like Colin Farrell. Him, and Michael Clark Duncan look like they're the only two having a blast in that movie, and they make it so much more entertaining when they're on screen. But yeah, like I respect the Ben Affleck Daredevil just because I grew up with it, and I know it's a bad movie.
Unfortunately.
Well, and it's also what introduced
you know what
me.
got me about the whole thing? You know what got me about the whole thing? No, I feel like nobody was expecting Kingpin to be a big black dude in the movie.
Yeah, but that's Michael Clark Duncan, and honestly, he was a good choice. Not that Vincent D'Onofrio wasn't a bad choice, but Michael Clark Duncan can never return.
The casting was like loosely based around the Marvel Ultimates, I think.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Michael Clark, bro.
Yeah, Michael Clark. Yeah, R.I.P. man. But I mean, he was a big dude. I mean, like he wasn't just a big dude. I mean, he was a big dude. Like I think he was. I want to say he was like 6'7". He was tall. He was like a really big dude.
Did he have a big heart though?
I don't know, but I'm sure he did. Honestly enough, I actually found that out through a those little trivia things that they show sometimes before movies. It actually had a question. It's like, which of these actors is actually dead? And I was like, I don't know. I thought it was somebody else, and then they said Michael Clark Duncan. And I'm like,
Oh.
really? But
Not
yeah,
a
no,
bracket,
I respect the Ben Affleck Daredevil, not only for Michael Clark Duncan, because he was a good choice. Also, Colin Farrell just had a blast with that movie, and Colin Farrell he's kind of like Bruce Campbell. He's anything that he's in, usually it's going to be a little bit better because he's in it. So yeah, that's just how I respect it, and I thoroughly do. I respect the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. I have it on Blu-ray. It's not my favorite. I'm not gonna like go out of my way to watch it all the time, but like, it's solid. The director's cut definitely makes it a lot better. Like, oddly enough, it has Coolio in it for whatever reason.
It has who?
Coolio, the rapper. Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. Yeah, that guy is in the movie. Yeah, let's not get copyright struck. Let's go ahead and go on to our next topic, which is, with the Batman coming out, we also have a sequel confirmed, as well as a couple of spin-offs. Primarily a Gotham PD prequel series showing the couple of years before the Batman showed up, following Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright. And we also have I almost said Kingpin. We also have a Penguin series confirmed, which takes place right where the Penguin is left off in this at the end of this movie, and that is with Colin Farrell returning in the show. And it is going to be a TVMA rated show, so we will probably have the Kingpin smoking his famous cigar.
You just said the Kingpin.
God damn it. Well, you know what? They both smoke cigars. You can kiss my ass. The Penguin smoking his famous cigar. Because actually Colin Farrell tried to fight for that, but they said if you do, we will be forced to get an R rating, which honestly, I think there is an R-rated cut of the Batman, and I want to see that director's cut. I want to see that director's cut.
My thing. I was like, I feel like, what if the Batman did go for an R rating, and there would have been a lot more.
Pushed. Okay. So like the Dark Knight before it, this one really pushed the PG-13. The Dark Knight was just the way that they avoided getting an R rating. No swearing, no gore, really. And then little to no drinking or smoking.
And no sex.
Well, yeah, no sex. That's an obvious given. But, that was how the Dark Knight managed to avoid getting a R rating. But then we got like uber amounts of like violence and fight scenes and like, come on, man. Like the goriest scene in that movie is literally Bruce giving himself stitches.
It's always been Bruce giving himself stitches that has been the goriest parts of the movie. So.
Well, the goriest part of that movie, of The Dark Knight. But this one isn't really gory, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember seeing much blood aside from like crime scene photos and stuff like that, and like murder weapons, obviously, with blood and everything. But beyond that, I don't remember seeing much blood in this movie. Now, that being said, I am super pumped for the Penguin show, not really the Gotham PD. Just because, like, I think it could be interesting, but
my opinion, my whole thing about the Gotham PD thing is though that they did that with Gotham though. They basically gave Gordon his own little TV series for the first 2 seasons of Gotham.
That being said, though, it still followed Bruce Wayne, and it still followed the Rogues Gallery, which, to be fair, Carmine Falcone, the Penguin, they existed before Batman. I will agree on that. But they didn't become, like, at least the Penguin didn't become as big of who he is, yeah. Now, that being said, I always see the Penguin as a crime boss, which was why I think that Colin Farrell disappears in this role. You don't even hear him, really. Like, it just sounds like a completely different guy. The only way that I usually see, like, Colin Farrell is I see his eyes. Like, his eyes and, like, his eye movement. Like, I see Colin Farrell in that, but beyond that, I don't see, I don't really... There is a power grab at the end of this movie. There's a power vacuum, I guess would be the best way to say it. And I think that's where the Penguin show is going to pick up, because the Penguin's going to pick up that. This isn't really a spoiler, but it's more of an out of context line. There's a point where the Penguin tells Batman, do you know my reputation? And he goes, yeah, do you? And he kind of looks at him like,
bruh.
The fuck? Like, it's kind of a moment of realization for him.
My last comment is, like, I thought I saw an article where Matt Reeves said something about a crossover with Joaquin's Joker.
I don't see it working. Just because this Batman takes place in the modern day. I mean, we're talking about Bruce has a freaking eye contact that he has a contact lens that records everything.
Damn.
So, like,
Batman ain't got nothing on that.
Yeah, like, and the Joker takes place in the 80s or 70s. I want to say it's the 70s is when Joker takes place. Oh. So I just don't see it connecting per se. Do I want to see something along those lines? Yeah, that'd be kind of fun, but I don't know.
Anyway,
that being said, if you guys any more thoughts, comments, concerns on the sequel and which, by the way, we already talked a little bit about the sequel that Matt Reeves wants to tackle a more grounded Mr. Freeze. Would love another Mr. Freeze on the big screen. But yeah, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on these spin-off shows / the sequel being confirmed?
Aside from Schwarzenegger, there hasn't been any Mr. Freeze in a Batman movie, like live action.
Live action wise, yeah. Oh, by the way, in the Harley Quinn show, Alfred Molina voiced Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I actually that up.
Yeah,
Afterwards,
Alfred Molina of all people.
I don't think what they do. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be good. I think they're gonna just bring it to life. Finally, give us an actual Batman series to it.
Well,
a live actual Batman series.
I think we're gonna get another season of Harley Quinn.
We are supposed to get a season 3, but that being said, this Gotham really comes to life. It's not just like, oh, cool, that's a cool dark alley that I would like to see more of. Oh, wait, it's just Chicago. Like, that's essentially what we got with the Dark Knight trilogy. And I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Do not get me wrong. The first one's a little choppy, but other than that, I still enjoy those movies. Just because they were like, those were my Batman. Like that, Christian Bale was my Batman that I grew up with. But I've always been open to more. Like I actually like Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's fantastic. Hell, I'll even defend Val Kilmer to an extent. But George Clooney is the worst. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But that being said, like
Wait, who's the worst?
Bat credit card.
George Clooney.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Clooney is. I couldn't stand him in the Justice League. It was just.
He wasn't in Justice League.
Clooney's a good actor.
George Clooney wasn't the one in Justice League.
George
Clooney wasn't the one in Justice League. That was Ben Affleck.
Well, who's Clooney?
Clooney was Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that one.
I thought that was a pretty good one. I grew up on those. Hey, I thought the Batman.
I mean, I did too until I grew a freaking conscience. There is one element, of the entire movie of Batman and Robin that I actually will stand up and defend. The relationship between Bruce and Alfred dying, done well. Done significantly well.
That's why I think that is good. I think
Fuck Harley Quinn and Bane, though.
You mean Poison Ivy and Bane?
Oh, man.
I meant to say Poison Ivy, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Ivy and Bane, yeah.
Also, they fuck over Bane. Like, Bane is essentially he's a brute. That's all he is. And I'm like, Bane is more than just muscle in the comics.
It's like he's more than just being swole.
Exactly.
Plus, I mean, it's a miracle, like, eventually at one point in the comic books, he actually gets over his venom addiction.
Oh, yeah, he does.
It becomes even stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's get going.
All right, on to our next topic. Anya Taylor-Joy is in talks for playing Harley Quinn in the Batman sequel. We're just getting kind of a lot of the Batman news out of the way. I'm okay with this, just because they've already gotten a younger person to play Joker. Sorry, that's technically a spoiler. Though granted, you're already going to be seeing articles this entire weekend pointing that out. He's not shown. I will say this. He is not shown, so we do not fully see him. You hear his voice, and you see an outline and all that fun jazz, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm cool. However, getting Anya Taylor-Joy to play Harley Quinn. She's a good actress. I feel like she will do phenomenal in the role. And it would be nice to see, as much as I love Margot Robbie, it would be nice to see a different interpretation of Harley Quinn. A more grounded Harley Quinn could be cool. Especially because of how they do the Riddler as like this giant psychopath. I would love to see a more grounded and realistic Harley Quinn. Not that I want to see every single character be grounded and realistic. I don't. Trust me, I don't. But for certain characters, Harley Quinn would be an interesting one to take on because I could see so many different ways of it working. What do you guys think?
For her, for the actress who's playing it, I feel like I feel like she has a big old job playing Harley Quinn because of the fact that there are different versions of Harley in general.
It's true.
You got, and to make a more grounded Harley, I feel that'd be kind of hard because in some way she is technically a sociopath. If I'm using that right. So I don't know.
Sociopath, no. Victim of Stockholm syndrome and abusive codependency, yes.
Yeah.
So basically, to play someone like that, to play a more grounded would be a little hard because she doesn't become more grounded until after she starts to realize herself that she doesn't need Joker to be who she is, basically.
No, I agree. That is definitely when we get the more fun-loving Harley Quinn. But yeah. I think personally, I genuinely do, that she's a good choice. I'll be interested to see what her costume looks like.
That's my curiosity too, because Harley has gone through several different costumes. So my interest is knowing which costume is going to be good.
I will say this, personally, I would like to see an origin story for her, not just her popping up. I would say if you're gonna have her like as a character, maybe have her show up throughout the movie as Arkham's new psychiatrist, Harleen Quinzel.
That's what she was, though.
Tease her. No, I'm just saying, have her be that throughout the whole movie, with her showing little bits and cracks here and there, and then tease her interviewing or like having a session with the Joker and her kind of breaking, and then you could have in the third movie her being full on Harley Quinn.
Do what they did with the Batman animation series then.
Kinda,
yeah.
I would say take best animated series representation on how you can do the character justice over time, even if they're a background character. Harvey Dent is done extremely well in the animated series because he's a background character, kinda. He is a friend of Bruce Wayne. Like, he is a character before he becomes Two-Face. When he becomes Two-Face, that gets its own 2-part episode, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's a 2-parter. And is it like super late into the show? No, I think it's like halfway through the first season, but it's still done extremely well. And that first half is really, it's a character study about Harvey and how he does have a split personality already. And then his whole, like, the botched plastic surgery and everything else like that. That's what just skyrockets it. Like, to a bad. Yeah, so I would say something along those lines. Show some cracks with Harleen Quinzel. Maybe have her be the psychiatrist for Riddler. Or whoever it may be. And just, like, have her kind of in the background of this movie. And then maybe at the end, show her interviewing the Joker. Or, like, having a psychiatry session with the Joker. And then her kind of cracking a little bit, like, hint at it. Like, maybe he cracks a joke and then compliments her, and she just kind of goes... and just, like, straightens herself up and goes, okay, so let's talk about your childhood. You know, something along those lines, like, show that he's already getting into her. Like, show something along those lines, and voila, you're good. Like, that's enough setup, and then you can have her be Harley Quinn in the next movie. I'm just saying, that's not a bad idea. Any more thoughts, comments, concerns?
I totally agree on you.
Yeah, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on Anya Taylor-Joy being in talks? It's not confirmed, but being in talks for being Harley Quinn in the Batman universe.
I hope she does a good job in portraying her as best as she can for the act, for the character.
Mm-hmm. Joe?
Put on a costume and show us what she could.
Yeah. On to lighter news and less skeptic, you know, like less theorizing. John DiMaggio has confirmed that he is coming back for the Futurama reboot or revival, and he is going to be voicing our one and favorite alcoholic, cigar-smoking robot himself, Bender.
Yeah, and every other character besides Bender he's voicing.
He voices a lot of background characters, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a 20-episode revival, I already know what one episode should be, if you want to get fans to be like, oh, that's clever. So in the first season, because I am rewatching it, there is an episode where they have that giant ball of garbage shooting towards New York.
Oh yeah.
Have that second ball of garbage that they use to shoot it into the sun, have it come back. And then just basically be like, wait a minute, we've done this before. How are we going to do this again? And it's like, bro, yes. Like, that would be a good opening episode. Just have it be like 45 minutes long. Don't make it 30, or like, don't make it 30 because that could be too short. Have it be 45 minutes long. Like, have everybody be like, you know, just have Professor Farnsworth come in and be like, good news, everyone. I found my old stemelloscope. It's like, oh yeah, didn't we use that to stop like a giant ball of garbage from hitting New York? And be like, yes. And guess what we get to do again?
My only thing is though, like where they're gonna start off from. They're gonna start off from when the last season ended.
I would say no, because they say that well, the timeline is fixed. Like they aren't gonna hit that point again where they pause time, but they had to go all the way back to where it started, like the first episode. So it's kind of like a loop, but once they get past it again, end it. Now, I do agree that Zoidberg should have the final line of this revival and then end it. I think that's fair, because the first time it ended, we had Fry, I think, had the last word. I think it was Fry, then it was Bender. No. Fry had the last word in the last revival that we had. So like you want to go around again? I think it was Leela had the last line. Yeah. Then it was Leela, then Bender.
She says, yeah, with you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, she's like, yeah. So why don't you tell me how it starts? You know, something like that. I think that's how it was. And then Bender had get in the portal, meat bags, or don't, whatever. You know, that was the last one. And then it was you want to go around again, and it was Old Fry. So that's cool. I like that.
I feel like we're gonna see a couple of crossovers.
Maybe
one crossover.
Maybe.
Probably not with Disenchantment, probably, but that'd be funny.
But I'm just super pumped to hear that John DiMaggio is coming back as Bender. Like, that's perfect, man. You can't have Futurama without Bender, man. Like, you can have it without Zoidberg, but maybe not. Because I know Zoidberg is a fan favorite.
That would be meaning, like,
the only character I think you could have it without is because it worked before. You could have it without Scruffy.
Well, yeah, because
Scruffy was a background character, and then he came in.
He's part of the show, but he's not part of the main cast, though.
Exactly. Your main cast is Fry, Leela, Amy, Bender, Zoidberg.
Cat lady.
She's more of a background character. Niffler, kinda. He's more of a secondary character. But like main cast, you have Fry, Leela, Zoidberg, Amy, Hermes.
Amy. Oh wait, you already said Amy.
I already said Amy. Farnsworth. I believe that's his name, right? It is Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farnsworth and Bender.
I think they also.
Yeah, basically the Professor, Amy.
7 characters. Fry, Leela, Zoidberg,
Bender,
and Hermes.
Fry, Leela, and Hermes, and that's it.
Yeah, that's your core cast.
Billy West voice is like not just Fry and Farnsworth for everyone, a bunch of other people.
Oh, doesn't he voice Zoidberg too?
I think so.
I think he does. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, granted, anybody can do a Zoidberg voice. It's not hard, but yeah. It's essentially the same. Like, anyways, that being said, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on John DiMaggio finally agreeing to come back?
baby. I knew it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I
very
mean,
good.
without him, I wouldn't. I don't think it would feel the same without him. in
No,
general.
I agree. I don't think it would have been the same without him. On to our next topic. It's official, I guess. Beetlejuice 2 is actually happening, even though
Are you serious?
I'm not
What the
joking. Apparently, Brad Pitt's studio Plan B is working on a sequel, which is ironic because when Tim Burton was asked, "Can you make Beetlejuice 2?" he basically had Beetlejuice go to Hawaii, cause a tsunami that takes out the entire freaking world. Like the world blows up in the end.
Oh,
Like-
wow.
And it was like a 3-page script. And they're like, what the hell is this? He goes, this is Beetlejuice 2. You want to make it? Go ahead. But you're doing it without me. So now that
I guess
we're
he didn't
finally
wanna
getting
make
it, here's the thing though. Now that we're finally getting it, Michael Keaton's too old. You can bring back Winona Ryder. That's fine. She's wasn't one that was a dead character. Alec Baldwin's way too old. And so is his co-star. I mean, like, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing. Like, these ghosts are supposed to never age. And I get it. You can de-age them. That's fine. But de-aging, if you look at a great example of de-aging done well, but when you look at it too long, you know that's what it is. Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel. And
Yeah, wasn't
Robert
that
De
bad.
Niro. No, it wasn't bad on the face. It was bad on the body. Because, like, there's a point where he's running, and it's like, yeah, that looks like a 70-year-old black man running. Because everybody forgets Sam Jackson's in his 70s.
The way he made that sound, though, bro.
It's like, yeah,
Samuel
that's a 70-year-old black guy running. You know, like, come on, man.
Otherwise, with Mr. Jackson, black don't crack.
That's true. But, like, his body definitely is. Like, I can tell his body's starting to wear out on him. That being said, you know, like, a good example of it went on too long, and you also had way too old of an actor to be playing it, Robert De Niro in The Irishman.
I haven't watched that yet, but
It's a long-ass time. I had to
It's
watch
It
it in 2
is.
sittings.
That movie.
It's
that
long,
movie's like, what,
it's
3
good.
hours, 4 hours long?
It's 3.5, I think. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a good movie. I still think out of all of Martin Scorsese's films that are 3 hours long, The Wolf of Wall Street is better. I like The Wolf of Wall Street better, in my personal opinion. Just because I like Wolf of Wall Street. It's entertaining. Just my thought process. But, you know, like, that's just my whole thing. Like, honestly, I like Scorsese. He's one of the best all-time directors. I'm not saying he isn't. Do I agree with a lot of the shit that he says about comic book movies? No.
fuck off. He could fuck off with that.
Now, I will say that is there too much? Yes. But that doesn't mean that there aren't good ones out there. Yeah, you know. That's a good example of de-aging going on way too long. It's not that it's bad. It's more if you have an older actor, they can't look the same way. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, when it's like quick flashbacks, perfectly fine. A good example of that, Lawrence Fishburne and Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man and the Wasp, when they did those flashbacks. Those were done flawlessly because they did so little things, and it was so quick. Like, I think Michelle Pfeiffer had the longest, and I think hers was like maybe 2 minutes. I want to say maybe 2 minutes. And then Lawrence Fishburne's was like less than 15 seconds. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of things, like, it can be done well in flashbacks. I don't see this working. And also, Michael Keaton's way too old. He is. I know that he... I feel like we're trying to push back Michael Keaton into a lot of these roles that we know him for, because he's kind of had a renaissance since then. He's had a renaissance, really. He's kind of come back into the limelight, and I love that for him. I don't want him to fall back on these characters that made him popular, though. Like, what's next? They're gonna make a Mr. Mom 2, and he's gonna still be the stay-at-home dad for his grandkids? Actually, that would be pretty funny. I would like that.
Actually would.
That would be pretty funny. I think that would be fairly hilarious. That would be pretty entertaining. I'm not saying it wouldn't. But, you know, like, don't get any ideas, Hollywood. Fuck off. But yeah, like that's just kind of my whole thing. What are y'all guys' thoughts on Beetlejuice 2 actually happening?
I mean, a lot of the people who like Tim Burton's movies are going to be excited that it's coming back. They're also going to be kind of mad that it's not Tim Burton creating the movie. You know what I mean?
It's not Tim Burton coming back. There are directors I feel like can mimic Burton's style and still bring their own flair. Sam Raimi is one of them.
I bet they can.
I think Sam Raimi wouldn't be a bad choice for Beetlejuice 2. There's only a handful of people I mean, like, honestly, give it to some indie director, they'll probably do okay. But I just don't know, man. Like, I feel like this is just grasping at straws, and I don't know how to feel about it. Like, that's my only problem with it. What do you guys think?
In general, I think it's could be a good movie, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's gonna be the best movie because Beetlejuice isn't that really it's a good movie, but it's not really like a movie the way.
Yeah. I think honestly they should leave it alone, but it's whatever. Hollywood's run out of ideas for the past 6 years. On to our next topic. Oddly enough, speaking of Brad Pitt, we actually have a new movie from with him starring and the director of Deadpool 2 directing. It is called Bullet Train, which follows an assassin a hitman trying to leave his profession with one last job, which is get a briefcase on this bullet train and deliver it from point A to point B. However, the unfortunate thing is there's a whole bunch of other assassins on this train. And I did not know anything about it before I saw the trailer. Pretty decent trailer. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm super excited about this just because I like seeing movies set in Japan. Whenever you use that neon light setting and just, I mean, obviously look at how my setup is. I love these like purple and blue neon light kind of things. And just, I'm telling you, I think that this could be a visually fun movie. I already from what little action scenes I've seen, it looks like fun. It looks funny. Just like there's a point where he's like, hey, do you have any Voss water? And they like take a break because the stewardess is like coming in between where they're fighting. And he takes like a sip, twists back the cap on, throws it back at the guy. And that's just where it ends. And I'm like, I want to see where that goes. Like, I'm kind of excited about this movie. I don't think I'll see it opening weekend, but I may see it on a discount price, depending on what the reviews are, obviously. What did you guys think?
I don't know. I keep forgetting how old Mr. Pitt is.
I think he's in his 50s.
He just...
Is it in his 50s?
I think he's in his 50s. But
and what is he doing again?
He's playing a hitman that's trying to leave the profession, but unfortunately on his last job, there's a whole bunch of other hitmen that are looking for this exact same briefcase.
I think he can do it. I believe he can do it.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying it looks like fun. Have you guys not seen the trailer?
Nope.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I have not. I thought.
Give it a watch afterwards. Let me know what you guys think. You guys ready to go on to our next topic?
Yeah.
All right. Our next topic is, if I can get the right cursor, The Secrets of Dumbledore has its second official trailer, and God damn it! All right, you've got my ticket. Not opening weekend, Warner Brothers. You can kiss my ass because I'm tired of all this shit with the Harry Potter franchise.
Give us a American Harry Potter.
I would love some exploring the world of Harry Potter without dealing with these legacy characters. I don't mind Newt Scamander. I actually would have loved to have followed his story, but then you tied in Grindelwald. Great character. However, with all the backstory, you can't do Grindelwald without Dumbledore, and I'm kind of tired of Dumbledore, man. Also, there's a whole bunch of controversy about this because of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, which we are not going to go into. We're going to keep it Joe. I already hear the gears turning in your head.
They both suck.
We're going to leave it at that.
Is this that fact that
So I was skeptical about this. I'm going to see it. I'm not saying I'm not. Hell, I was saying I was gonna not see the sequel, The Crimes of Grindelwald. I was saying I wasn't gonna go see it, and then I eventually ended up bootlegging it. It happens, you know. I was like, I have nothing better to do. Fuck it, let's bootleg this thing, and I did. And it was boring. Johnny Depp was the only consistently good thing about it, which is a shame because don't get me wrong, I love Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's a good choice for a replacement for Johnny Depp.
For sure.
We'll see how well that works in Indiana Jones 5, which is also wrapped up production. I didn't bring it up because I just don't care for Indiana Jones 5. They managed to get the corpse of Harrison Ford to do another Indiana Jones movie.
He's still kicking.
Like I said, the corpse of Harrison Ford.
Crime.
He is. Like, they kind of made it work in Indiana Jones 4. That was like the one element that was kind of okay. But now, I mean, shit, man. I don't know. I'm going to have my faith in James Mangold, even though he was acting like a crybaby for a good chunk of this on Twitter. We'll see how it turns out. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to turn out good. I don't even know if anybody's interested in an Indiana Jones movie, aside from people our age. Like, I don't think kids are going to be like, ooh, Indiana Jones. Like, no, their parents are going to be like, ooh, Indiana Jones. You're going to watch all this shit, kid. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And then they go see it and they're like, it's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Be like, focus this.
The parents who watch Indiana Jones are going to be like, you got to watch this because this is part of culture.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to eventually show. Now, a little kid, like below 5, I would not show Indiana Jones. There's some scary shit in there. 5-year-old kid that I feel like would do okay. Like, okay, my nephew, I've yet to watch a movie with my nephew, aside from like little kid stuff. I feel like he can handle it. I'm gonna have a few movies to test some stuff. I'm gonna try House with the Clock in Its Walls, because that's got some like little kids scary elements things. I'll watch a few Goosebumps episodes with him. We'll go from there. If he can handle that, I'll be like, all right, you're gonna watch Indiana Jones. Which, granted, according to his mother, he's watched Rick and Morty, which has some really fucked up shit. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's a little bit iffy, but
That's what I'm gonna say.
He was like
you can't say
3.
a lot of 5-years won't handle the movie.
Hey, he was like 3 when he watched Rick and Morty, so he didn't really understand it. He just saw the pretty colors.
They should know that.
They did. They knew he wasn't gonna understand. He was like 2 or 3 at the time. So, anyways,
I could give that a pass.
All right. Continuing on, Gallows, what were you saying?
I totally forgot.
Anyways, back onto the topic of crimes or Secrets of Dumbledore. I think this is going to be the last one. I don't think it's going to make money. I think it's going to go out with a whimper. This looks like it could be a lot of fun, though, because it looks like there's going to be a lot of action. And I'm interested to see what shit they can pull out of their ass for this one. Any more thoughts, comments, concerns on the second trailer for Secrets of Dumbledore?
Be prepared to walk out of the movie theater.
I'm not walking out of a movie theater.
I would.
Dude, I've yet to walk out of a movie theater because I actually spend my money smartly. I'm like, I'm only half interested in this, but I heard good things.
If I hear a sequel of like Waterworld or something, I'll be like, no.
For that, the Secrets of Dumbledore, I like Harry Potter, but I'm not a big old fan of Harry Potter. You guys kind of drift.
Who are you, and what did you do with Gallows Therius?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think it can be a good movie? Yes, but a lot of people are kind of getting tired of Harry Potter in itself, basically.
I agree. At least with the Fantastic Beasts movies. Like, there's still plenty of people that watch Return to Hogwarts that have also been watching. I've been rewatching the Harry Potter movies slowly but surely. I'm on 5.
I just need to get on 7.
No, am I on 6 or am I on 5? I'm on 5. Yeah, I'm on Order.
No, I was saying that's where I am. I've watched Half-Life, but never got to Deathly Hallows.
You never seen Deathly Hallows?
No.
I've seen.
I read the book.
I started from the beginning and I watched all the way to the end of the whole series.
So,
and I like
Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the
like
better movie. I will say this, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the better movie, because Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a drag. but that's kind of the point of part one. Part one is supposed to like get you like fucking depressed and angry. Like it's meant to do. It's supposed to be like this kind of. It's almost like an indie film kind of thing. Like it's depressing. It doesn't help the fact that it ends with Dobby's death.
Okay, if a lot of people here have read the books and everything, that's not really a spoiler.
No, it's not. Or if they've seen the movies. Like this movie came out part one came out in son of a bitch, when did it come out? It was
2000 and I think like either
2011.
In the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm talking about Deathly Hallows Part 1.
2010, either between 210 or 213.
I think it was 2011 and then the following year 2012, or it could have been 2010 and 2011. I have no idea. I was
already getting into high school.
I was just barely getting into 5th grade.
Fucking munchkin.
Fuck off, old man. Anyways, speaking of old men, on to our next topic and our final one. Star Trek Picard has its second season out, and I'm surprised that they did I say disgruntled or the hollow shell / corpse that is Harrison Ford. Speaking of hollow shells, no, I'm kidding. No, but speaking of corpses that they've managed to drag back on screen, they have gotten Sir Patrick Stewart for a second season of this shit. A show that constantly shits on Picard. This is why I don't like Paramount. Anyways.
I don't like that they make Nickelodeon's bitch, but
Joe, take it away.
Well, if you watch season 1 and you saw how things were left off, I mean, well, you know what happens.
I do.
Was it a good series though? Because I'm not a big fan of Star Trek.
Not bad.
Because
what I've seen of Star Trek is
that show's been rebooted over and over again.
Technically, Star Trek Next Generation is a continuation. It takes place in the future, but it's in the same timeline as the original Star Trek show.
Like Kirk and everyone. Yeah.
And I think Discovery, or not Discovery, what's the one with 7 of 9? Deep Space Nine, I think, was one of them. And Voyager.
Yeah.
So I think those are all the same timeline. Then the movies came out. They made their own separate timeline. Yeah, those are the Kelvin timelines. And technically Spock gets put, like our original Spock gets put into the Kelvin timeline. So also, like Kirk is dead in the Next Generation timeline. And yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, was still around though.
The Star Trek timeline is pretty fucked. I'm not gonna lie. The only one that's worse is the Resident Evil movie timelines.
I'd rather not think about those Paul Anderson movies.
I actually like Paul W.S. Anderson, but man, did those movies get it bad.
Those movies after Extinction.
After Extinction, I agree. They should have ended after Extinction. Extinction was like the last decent one. They were never good. Like the first one was okay. The first one was fun. I enjoyed the second one more than any of them. Apocalypse. I love Apocalypse. Apocalypse is one of my favorites, just because it's a movie I can literally just let's have fun. That's literally all I do. I just turn off my brain, have fun. That's Apocalypse for me. Extinction, kinda, more or less. Like Extinction is okay. I don't know, man. But that being said, back onto Picard season 2.
It kind of.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the first season.
It's pretty hard when you're at the end.
Did they kill off Picard? Again?
No, but a certain favorite character will come in and tell him, basically along the lines of, we ain't finished yet there, mon capitan.
Yep, speaking of other corpses. Anyways, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. This was just a really quick episode. I mean, yeah, I mostly wanted to talk about the Batman, but you know, like we got that out of the way.
We did.
And honestly, this was just a filler. This topic was a filler one. I hate to admit that, but it was. I just wanted to get up to 8 topics, and I don't think any of us have anything for Snodacast.
Yep.
No, I got nothing for
I got nothing.
Snodacast.
So
Just how handsome you are.
fuck off, Joe. Anyways, I have been your
I'm giving you a
host.
compliment, you ass.
I know you can still break off your own dick and shove it up your ass. Anyways, that being said, this has been Snodacast episode 10. I have been your host, BlackShip56. I've been joined by Gallows, aka Thomas, and the aforementioned break off on dick and shove up on ass, Joe, aka Joker.
The one and only.
Yeah, well, for now.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Mark
I've
Hamill
been
just
your
comes in
host,
here.
BlackShip56. I will see you all